Okay, YouTube, it's Sunday morning, June the 23rd, I think. I think it's 23rd. Oh, I haven't made many videos lately. After the sandblaster, it's like I didn't intend to. I kind of dropped off the face of the earth as far as YouTube is concerned, but we're not back on the power stroke yet, unfortunately. I really thought I would be and want to be, but been having to work a lot of overtime again. And got some other stuff I need to get away, and I decided to get out of the way, I'm sorry. And I figured I'd at least make a video on what I'm doing and show you some other stuff I need to do, just to let the people who are watching my channel know that I'm still here, still going to make videos, and what I'm up to. For those who are interested in this sort of thing, we're doing some stair railing repair. It's not to my house, it's to my mother's house. And I figured I better go ahead and get on this before she gets herself hurt. She's got a bad foot, broke it about 3 years ago. When was that? Well, 2 years ago, 2010. And the deal was, the stair railing was getting loose. It goes on our back porch stairs. And actually, about 10 years ago, Dad, God rest his soul, he built a stair rail. He didn't do a bad job. Actually, he did a pretty nice job. Just that, when we mounted this to the concrete, used this steel plate. I remember drilling these for him. And he had screws coming up through these holes, coming up through the bottom of this. The stud here. Actually, it's not a 2x4. I went to Home Depot yesterday and tried to find, because I'm going to have to replace this one, and I couldn't find anything at dimension, so I ended up buying me a piece of treated lumber that is the same thickness, but I'm going to have to rip it with a saw, and I'm going to stick it on my Bridgeport mill and cut it down parallel on the other dimension. I'll show you what I mean on that later. But anyway, I kind of got off of what I was talking about here. This was just mounted like this right here. 2 screws went in there, and of course the wood is not rotten, but the screws work loose. It needs some reinforcement. And I remember when he did this, he wasn't happy with it, and he hadn't done the front yet, and we got together and we come up with a better setup, and the front's still good, the railing on the front of the house, but we never got around to doing this one the same way, and that's what I'm doing. As you can see, here's the other stud, and it was really bad. It was just, there was pretty much nothing holding it out. These screws were in there, they done got rusty, and they got worked loose where their threads weren't holding at all. And what I did was, I had to make these right here. It started out like this, and this is the opposite plate of the other one I just showed you. And it started like this. I had to cut it in half, fit it to our board, and I welded it to the plate. And that is a really good slip fit. You got to kind of tap it on. And for a little bit more strength as far as bolting it to the bottom, as you can see, I drilled and kind of counterbored a hole. And I counterbored it deep enough so that this bolt can fall down in there and it won't be sticking out of the bottom, so they can rest flat. And what I did, I drilled and tapped for a 1/2 inch thread about that deep. Can't remember the exact numbers how deep I went. I just went deep enough till I felt it was good enough. And I put a big long 1/2 inch bolt, screwed it all the way down in there, and I JB welded it in last night. Now it's set up good and hard. Now I'm going to cut this off square. That is not square. And I also filled in the old stripped out screw holes with JB weld. And we will use this bolt, and it's not really necessary, but we'll put some new screws in place of those just for good measure, and that should make it good and solid. And we'll have to, I think I'll go ahead and paint it. What made me jump up and go ahead and do this now, I was kind of worried. Not only was I worried about her stumbling and grabbing it and have it break on her, but the insurance people that came out and looked at her hail damage, seen some chips in this from the hail, and they were going to paint it, and it's kind of goofy to spray on top of that when it needs to be repaired first. So actually, I think I'm going to paint it with some of this spray paint here, which is good for metal or wood, and tell her to tell them not to paint it, because I'll probably make it look better than they will. But that's what we got going on, and I will show you the whole repair on this. And I know it's not about the Power Stroke or my cars or anything, but for any of you home repair enthusiasts, or even the car guys, they have homes to fix up too. Maybe if you need to build some stair railing and you're not sure how to go about doing it, maybe this will give you some good ideas how to mount it good and solid. And let's see what else we got going on we're going to have to do. Got my old open trailer I haven't used on the road for a long time. Of course I can't because it's full of junk. Well, this isn't junk. This is my good bed that I need to fix. But you can see my tires leak, so I move it once a week so I can mow under it. I don't like grass growing up around it. And all my tires are just really old. These held up. It's mostly that one over there that I just showed you. And I know the right thing to do is buy new tires, or at least some good used ones. But I don't want to do that right now because it does nothing but set and they'll just dry rot. So bought me some inner tubes for that. And when I get my truck back together and get all this junk hauled off of here and hauled off, I'll get some good tires for it, because I will use this trailer for this and that. Plus I need to come up with a concrete pad or something, park this thing on top of, so those tires aren't sitting on the grass and rotting when I do get better tires. So we'll have to do that before we get on the Power Stroke. Anyway, we'll see how this video turns out. Kind of hard to get anything done with all the Saturdays I've been working, but only way to fix that is to help myself with that, and I told you what I want to do with that in the Sandblaster videos. Self-employment. But I got a lot of stuff I need to get out of the way first. We're down to 14 months and 1 week on paying off the mortgage. Okay, just a little update on where I'm at and what I'm up to. I'm going to get to work, get this stair railing done, get this one side done, and I'll probably start on the other side. Stay tuned. Alright, we got our bolt cut off here, and what I'm going to do, I'm just going to square this end up. Kind of was a little crooked on my chop saw, so best way to square something up is on the mill. Easiest way for me. Just because you're a machinist don't mean you have to work with metal only. All that stuff works pretty well with wood too. And it really helps you get some square corners. And the reason it's easier to get a square, because see, this vise is indicated in. I mean, I put a dial indicator on it. Actually, it wasn't a dial indicator, it's a regular indicator. I'll show you the difference. Getting off subject again. This is type indicator. What you do is you put it up in the spindle there. It's got a little pin there. I use one of my collets for, and you can get this vise square within, you know, closer than 1/1000th of an inch. However close you want to get it. You can get it to 0 if you got a good enough eye for it. It just makes it a lot easier to get stuff really square. Feed this table down here. I got my quill down as far as it'll go. I'll go a little farther, but I got my stop set there. Don't really feel like fooling with it. I'll just crank the table down. This end mill almost isn't big enough. Kind of hard to see when it's turning there, but the flutes are what actually cuts it. Let me throw some safety glasses on. You should always wear safety glasses when using these things. These here are kind of dirty. I got some new ones somewhere and I can't find them. Alright. Just show a little milling action here. This mill has an automatic feed, but it only goes this way. That's what they call the X-axis. X and X-axis, and this way is the Y-axis. So there's the automatic feed, but it only works in the X. Got my cutter going a little too quick for metal. Kind of let me know when it hits that bolt. That's okay, we don't have that much bolt to cut. There we are. This cutter is very dull too. Trying to splinter my wood a little bit, but that's fine. That's going to be pressed down in my piece. Alright. We get the rest of that. Yeah, we did splinter some. Not going to hurt anything though. There we are. We almost got it all cleaned up. I think it's good enough since it's going to be down in there. Just want to show you a little bit of mill action there, I guess. Onward to the next part. There we go. Pretty good fit. Now I get to transfer my hole there. Actually, I don't have to transfer it. I'm going to set this up in the mill and just use that as a guide to align my drill bit. Okay, what I'm doing now, I'm going to have to move the head of my mill so that I can mount this 2x4. What I'll do is, I'm going to clamp it. I'm going to use some T-slots in that slot there, and I'm going to clamp it to the table just like this, but I need to get the head of my mill over here. I'll show you how you can do that on this. Hopefully it'll reach that far. Let's see, I think I've already, you got to loosen, to swivel the head, you can swivel this head this way, and you can also bring it in and out. And in order to do that, you got 4 bolts. You see 2 on this side, and there's 2 on the other side like that. I've already loosened them. Hopefully I've loosened them enough. And you can just pull this head like this. And I don't have much room back here. But to bring the head in and out, you loosen this bolt. Oh, this is really hard to show since it's such a tight fit back here, even for a little guy like me. There's that. Now, let's see if I can do this while holding the camera. I know this video is going to be shaky, but you take this handle here. There might be 2 on the other side. Maybe I forgot. Nope. It's a little tight. Let me see if I got them all the way unlocked here. Aha, yeah, that one. That one was still needed a little more loosening. There we go. And as you can see, as I'm turning this handle, it's moving. It'll only go so far. And I should be able to move my table in enough, I hope. This might be a messed up video with all the moving around and tight conditions here, but we're doing the best we can with it. Okay, I think it's going to reach. Oh yeah, that's more than enough. I have to bring my table out. But that's how we're going to do that. In case you're wondering what that humming noise is, that's how I power the mill in here. See, a lot of mills and lathes and industrial equipment like that is on what they call 3-phase for the electricity. And 3-phase is something the power company usually supplies to big factories and stuff like that. Businesses, machine shops, stuff like that. You can get it at a residential, but it would cost me quite a bit to have it done. And I don't use it enough for me to spend that kind of money. So what that buzzing noise is a 3-phase converter. They can be built if you really want to go to the trouble. I didn't want to. I just wanted to get my mill running when I bought it. This is a Timco brand 3-phase converter. I found it on eBay. It's good for, I think this one's good for a 7-horse motor. I can't remember exactly. I've had this thing for 4 years. And this is only 1 1/2 horsepower, I think, on this. Whoops, something fell. Scared the crap out of me too. Anyway, this is good for 7 horse. That's 1 1/2, so it's more than enough. If you want to get something like this, a mill or a lathe, and when you order a converter, try to get one that is rated for more horsepower than you got. That way, if you put it under a load, it'll still work well, meaning making heavy cuts and stuff. But it's just a little babbling about that, so maybe this video will be a little more helpful or interesting than just some stair by stair rail repair. I don't edit my videos, so you get all my screw-ups unless I just delete it out. Okay, let me get this thing set up in here and I'll show you how I'm going to drill and tap my hole. Okay, we got our stud set up in the mill. Got it squared up. Didn't get too fancy with it. Didn't use an indicator or anything. I just used this little plastic square here to make sure it's sitting in there straight that way, and clamping on it on top and bottom of that angle plate there kind of helps it get square the other way. Just used a couple welder's clamps, hold it down. Got toe clamps and studs with T-nuts to go in these slots to hold this angle plate down. Find my glasses and we'll drill our hole. What we're doing is we're drilling so that we can tap a 3/8/16 hole, which is a 3/8 coarse thread. And the drill size for a 3/8 coarse thread is 5/16. I know that by memory because I do that kind of work every day at work. But if you're not too familiar with this, but you want to drill and tap a hole, you can. Sometimes if you buy a tap, it'll say so on the tap what size drill to use. If it doesn't, there are drill conversion charts that you can find online. A lot of suppliers will give you a little index card with all your drill sizes that convert fractions to decimals and what drill to use for all your different taps. Remember, like a 3/8 coarse thread and a 3/8 fine thread, we use two different size drills because of the depth of the thread. But enough about that. Just thought that would be some helpful info for anybody out there. Let's go ahead and drill our hole here. Now, if I had to, I could set this up in a vise and do it with a hand drill, but it's a lot harder to get it straight when you got to drill that deep. And I don't like using a hand drill when I got to drill through, you know, thick material. You know, like this, we're going probably 1.5 inches deep to get down through this stud so that we can screw a bolt all the way in. So it's a lot easier to do it in a drill press or a mill like this. I could use a little bit of oil. Got some cutting oil here. As my drill's getting a little warm down in there. And this just makes it a lot easier to drill a hole if you got to drill through metal. It's really deep. Thin metal, yeah, I do just about all that with a hand drill. It's just to save me the time of the setup. Okay, this is kind of awkward doing it left-handed, even though I am partially left-handed. But this camera, you can only hold it right-handed. So I'm going to go ahead and finish drilling this hole and show you how to tap it and show you how it works out. Okay, I didn't show the tapping, so I lied. Anyway, it all worked out pretty good. Only thing I didn't particularly care for is, see, I used a 1/2 inch bolt. I should have went with 5/8 because my threads kind of wandered off into the wood on one side, but I still put the bolt in after I tapped it and got a pretty good bite on it. I tightened the wrench down pretty good. So I think it'll be good. I'm also going to use these screws, and like I said, I'm going to JB weld them back in because those holes were kind of stripped out. And I think that'll hold it in there pretty solid. Let me get this out of the vise. Actually, it was really close to getting in the wood, but it didn't. Wasn't as bad as I thought. But still, on the other one, I'm going to go with a 5/8 threaded rod, which I do have here. It'll just give me a little more room and make sure all my threads are already in steel. As you can see, it did kind of wander to that way, but like I said, the bolt snugged down pretty good. Okay, I'm going to get this board ready, sand it down, and maybe shoot some paint on it. Or at least the part that doesn't get covered when it's all together. And now we get to do the other side. Hopefully it'll go a little quicker than this because we got more of an idea of what to do. Stay tuned, show you how it turns out. Alright YouTube, we got the pedestals finished up, painted. They are way over there. Went ahead and got the inside of them soaked real good with paint. And painted the legs here where they're going to be covered. Whoops. Focus my camera back. where they're going to be covered up when they painted that. And now we're in process of making this piece that was right here. I've already ripped it out, so you see how I did that. I guess just kind of show you how if you can't find the size lumber you got, or one way you can make it the size you want. Like I said, I already ripped it to a little bit bigger, and I rigged it up my mill. These two blocks here are the same height, so that way this thing is sitting in here even. I'm talking about these blocks here that's resting on. Actually, it's not down on it tight, and it should be. Find my rubber mallet right here. Okay, now let's snug that up, and that there kind of raised up. There we go. That should make it good and parallel. But we've already cut that right there. We cut it as far as we go. We had the mill head swung way over here from when I was drilling in the ends of it. And see, the table won't travel that far. So we got half of it cut, and now I had to move the head over here and back. And now we're going to cut that. The stop was set, meaning this stop right here on the vertical, which means I can put it back down all the way against it. And it should make it all nice and flat all the way across. Get this table in. Take a lot heavier cut than we're over there. I'm going to slow my feed down for this. There it goes. And that, in these mills, even for working with lumber, it makes it a lot easier to get your stuff squared up. After I do this, I need to cut my ends at an angle. I think I'm going to do that with the saw. I don't know, I may set it up in here, see what angle we need. Would get a good flatter surface if I did it in here. But just want to show you that, where I'm at. It's about, what's going on 3. It's getting kind of hot out here. 93. If the doors are shut, it'll probably be almost 100. Could be a hot summer. Okay. I'll show you as I progress further along on this. Hopefully I have this thing together and painted today. Okay, it's 5 o'clock, 95 degrees, 5:30 actually. Almost forgot I was making a video on this, so I guess we're going to have to skip a lot of stuff I did, but as you can see, I've got it all together, and all that's left to this side. Angel's after something. Who knows? Sometimes she just goes off and there's nothing there. Anyway, I got all this back together. Had to remake this piece. Well, yeah, I did, almost forgot. I did videotape the milling of that down. Had to set it back up in there and mill a little bit more off after I screwed it on there and got this side flush. It was sticking out a little bit, so I just stuck it all up in there. So all I got left is to fill in some holes with some putty and sand it down. I'm just going to spray it with some spray paint. And I think this will be good enough to put up for a video. Not one of my best videos, not really the kind of stuff I want to cover, but like I said, I just want to make a video and let all my watchers know that I'm still here, still wanting to do videos, and I will eventually get back to the Power Stroke. So we'll get this done, and hopefully I can get this painted, and if it dries quick enough, I can take it over tonight, bolt it on, and take the other one off, and work on it a little bit of time after work. Get it done next week, and maybe by the weekend I can start back on the Power Stroke, maybe make a small video of it. Okay, not quite done with this video yet. I want to get this painted, and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, YouTube. Got one side done. That's what it looks like all painted up. Didn't turn out too bad. Since I was salvaging old broken stuff, I think it looks pretty good myself. Alright, we're just going to we're going to call this a video. I'm going to take this over there and bolt it back down where it belongs, over on my mom's house. And no sense in doing a video on the other one, pretty much a repeat of this, except the other one isn't as bad a shape, and hopefully I won't have to spend as much time on it. I put a lot of time in this, and it just doesn't look like I did that much, but you know how stuff like that can be time consuming, especially when you're getting old rusty screws out of wood and trying to save the boards and all that stuff. But really, I saved everything but that bottom board right there, made that over. I think it turned out okay. So hopefully, I'm not sure if the next video will be back on the Power Stroke, or instead of just replacing the glass pane on that window that got broke during the hailstorm, I'm thinking about having a vinyl replacement put in. Just trying to do a little bit of an upgrade. One of these days I'm going to try to insulate this garage really well, and that will be one step towards it. Figured if I got a broken window while I'm repairing it, I might as well do an upgrade on it. Let's see, what else have we been doing around here besides working on cars? Well, yeah. Really, a lot of stuff has kind of gone downhill out here. I got to replace all that. See how that's all messed up. Actually, I'm wanting to make a door up there so that I can get a step ladder out here. Possibly even build some stairs. I'm not sure. That would be the way to go. I think that would be kind of cool. I would kind of like a carport over on this side. But I was wanting to make a doorway so I can get up in my loft up there. I got a lot of parts up there. And sometimes it's hard to get up there through the inside because I always got, you know, a car that I can't move, parked in the way or something like that. But we got that to do. That will probably make a decent video. I started replacing this rotten wood back here. This thing needs shingles. It already needed shingles before the hailstorm. That sure didn't help. We may end up doing the house this fall. Lots to do. Lots to do, and the Power Stroke's still waiting. Oh, I really need to get that going so I can go racing again. So we're going to call this a video. I guess we'll call it stair rail repair. Something like that. Anyway, to my subscribers, I think I got a couple new ones since my last video, which has been about 2 weeks. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for watching. The AdSense thing is gradually getting better and better all the time. I'm not very far away from reaching that threshold where I'll get a paycheck from them. And I owe that to you guys who are watching. Appreciate that. And I hope to get more subscribers. So I guess the good thing about doing home improvement stuff on top of the car stuff is you get more watchers. So, but it doesn't matter if the AdSense thing got canceled on me. I would still do these videos anyway. I kind of like doing this channel. So enough of me blabbing. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for, I'm not sure what I'll have next week. Hopefully I'll be back on the Power Stroke. That's all.